So, already going to be in my Warner. I had some clips in my Futo in the last stream that I tried to do, but well, there's nothing. It's kind of hard to do single gear drifting in this, or not single gear drifting, just drifting in general without stancing. But single gear drifting in cars like these works pretty well before stancing. I'm trying to avoid stancing though, because somebody argues with me that stancing is cheating, so I want to show them that drifting is indeed possible without stancing. Oh, that didn't at all go how I wanted it to. Yeah, the reason why I choose to do this through stream instead of like pre-recorded video is because I want to be able to show that I can do this without editing it. And if I fuck up, I fuck up. It's just part of drifting. You're going to fuck up. There's almost nobody who can go a whole track without fucking up somehow. At least no average player, anyway. I'm used to drifting the Warner with the stancing, but I can do it without it, as you can see here. The guy that I'm trying to show this to is insistent that you can drift in a front-wheel drive car, and I'm going to kind of explain why that doesn't work for a second. See, in a front-wheel drive car, at least on Grand Theft Auto, and in real life, front-wheel drive cars are totally capable of drifting if you know what you're doing. On Grand Theft Auto, on the other hand, not so much. You can power slide in a front-wheel drive car, and that works really well, but you can't really drift in a front-wheel drive car. Because as far as Grand Theft Auto goes, on a front-wheel drive car, all of the brakes power is in the front. That also happens to be where all the engine's power is coming from, is in the front, because that's where the wheels are spinning at. And so if you're constantly hitting the handbrake while you're in a front-wheel drive car as the wheels are spinning, it's going to keep cutting power to the wheels and make it so you can't really drift at all. Whereas with the rear-wheel drive car, because the brake power is in the front, the wheels aren't going to be moving at all. Not in the front, but the rear wheels will be moving. So with those constantly spinning and your front constantly stopping, it's going to cause your car to get a little tail happy like this. And that's what turns it into a drift. Now, let me show you the slight difference here. So, this is a power slide. A simple tap of the handbrake and you slide around the corner. Like that. That is a power slide. See, because I lost a lot of speed there. With a drift, like this, you maintain your speed as you round the corner. There's not really much slowing down to it. You will lose a lot of, not a lot, a little bit of speed just from the braking itself, but for the most part you'll stay pretty stable. Whereas with the power slide like that, I lost almost all of my speed going around that corner. Another difference is when you power slide, your wheels sort of stop spinning a little bit there. Whereas with drifting, as you'll see in a moment, the wheels keep spinning. Now I kind of fucked up there because I crashed, but you should have been able to see the wheels spinning. I'm by no means an expert on this. I'd say probably average at best. And I mean, there's only so much I can do here without stamping my car. But yeah, really the only reason I'm even trying to show off to this person is because he's insistent that he's a drift king when really, to be honest, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not going to name any names though, because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus like that. That's not me. But he chooses to, reveal who he is, and so be it. I'm not going to throw his name out to anybody. Trying another location aside from the docks, because I'm basically doing the same shit over and over again over here. Let's go. So one of my favorite warm-up spots for drifting, or single gear drifting at least. Might be able to use it as a warm-up spot for the other kinds of drift as well, but single gear drifting is a little different. Single gear drifting is honestly the easiest kind, it's just also the slowest. I'll unplug my mic for just a moment. Mic's back in now, but yeah, I just had to unplug my mic because my family's being loud. But this is my favorite warm-up spot for drifting right here, single gear drifting, because it allows you to sort of get a sense of when to time your handbrakes before your car throws itself into the next gear. So you see, it's really easy to just do loops around here. Favorite warm-up spots there, but yeah, the downside to single gear drifting in the city is that there's not really any turns clustered together. Like, you can turn around corners like this and like right up here, but if you're doing single gear like I am, you gotta kind of slow down as you approach. And then with all the traffic and stuff, it's ridiculous. But another fun space to practice it that sort of gives, in a way, a lot of turns is in this little tunnel right here. Or parking space, my bad. Oh, there's a lot of cars under here today. A lot of NPCs coming in here to park. Nudge the car there. Damn, I shifted, or handbrake too early. Camera feels a little too far away. There we go. The camera kept switching because of the, yeah, see, it keeps jumping like that because of the air ducts and shit that are underneath here. I mean, it's still doable, it's just, oh, there we go. Sorry if you hear that in the background, that's my loud family, but yeah. Tried to drift around that pillar, but it didn't quite work. Alright. Let's go down here. Whoa! Fucking came barreling out into that intersection, little dickhead. Alright. Throwing out the tail just a little too much. I gotta slow down on that. Now, as I said before, I'm by no means an expert on this, so I'm going to fuck up a lot. Oops, like that. Anybody who's watching this, if you do have any tips for me, feel free to leave them. I'm more than happy to learn a little bit. Oh, that was close. I know about the whole stancing trick, it's just I'm trying to avoid that because of criticism of a specific person. Speaking of which, in a bit I'll probably go and show the difference that stancing makes on a car like this when it comes to drifting. Because it's not a huge difference by any means, but it does make everything a lot easier. drift around here, so this one's gonna have to use the pillars. Ooh, spun out. Try it again. It's more of a power slide than a drift, but it's not like this guy's video was all drifting either, so. Another downside this thing with gear drifting is it makes bumps like this hard to get over the like compared to the sidewalk, because you'll spin out a lot easier. Whoa, what the hell? Normally cars just barrel through those posts. Anyway, now since I'm done showing how basic drifting is, I'll show you the difference that stancing makes. Hell, stancing makes it so easy to slide that a lot of the time you don't even really need a handbrake. At least you don't need to do it as often as you need to do it without stancing. Because really, if you don't, the stancing is harder to control, which makes it more fun, and in my opinion, tougher. And this person that I've referred to is insistent that those, tricks or glitches or whatever don't really count. Which, honestly, I disagree, but that's not the point.
What miracle did you want me to perform?
In my opinion, stancing isn't really a trick, because when your suspension gets broken, which is essentially what you're doing here, realistically, your car you wouldn't have great control over your car. But since I've already showed off basic drifting, I'll show off what stancing does, basically. Shoot here. Go drop twice. Go. Now that it stands, let me show you what a difference it makes. See, already right off the bat, the car slides around a lot more and way easier, making fluid-looking drifts like this much easier to pull off. Actually, that back there was more of a power slide, but more to the point, back to the warm-up area here. See, it slides around a lot more. It's a lot more temperamental. Hell of a lot more fun this way. Let's go into that parking lot there and I'll show you how different it looks in tight spaces like that. I feel like the car gets a little faster when you stance it as well. I know it changes the performance as far as your handling goes, but I don't know if it makes the car pick up speed at all. pedestrians stopped in the middle of the road. Nick the wall. Oh, a lot more cars under here this time. Oh shit, didn't realize there was an NPC car there, my bad. It's a little harder to drift through this area now that there's cars scattered throughout the parking lot. Might partially be due to the fact that I'm in a lobby by myself, so car spawns are a lot more frequent around me, whereas when there's more people in the server, more cars will spawn in other places. Oops. Stance drifting is much harder. I wouldn't say much harder really, it's just a little more temperamental than drifting without stancing the car. See, notice I'm fucking up a lot more while it's stanced. Although I'll tell you what though, stancing also makes power sliding a hell of a lot easier. NPCs. That, for example. A lot of people think just simply tapping the handbrake and going around the corner like this is considered drifting, and it's really not, it's just power sliding. Not that it's not, and not that power sliding is a bad thing. Power sliding is still cool, it's just not the same thing. So when you're drifting, especially single gear drifting, you want to sort of rhythmically tap the handbrake. I recommend Black Sheep tutorials for this because he explains it much, much better than I do. That's the downside to stancing. When you hit a curb like that, it will send you spinning. That's one of the reasons why I think drifting while it's stanced is more skillful than drifting without it, because when you're drifting without the stancing, if you hit a curb, it's not really going to affect you that much. But while you're stanced, it might partially be due to the fact that your car is low to the ground. When you come over a curb, it will fuck you up. I'll purposefully go over the curb here as an example. So if I try drifting around here, the sudden drop from the curb slows me down. And then if I sort of go here, well, that was my own fault there. That was not at all the curb's fault. But like that, for example, my tire rubbed against the curb. Yeah, so that's basically what I got. It's a pretty average drifting at best, but
what can the best mechanic in LS do
this other
for
guy's
you?
drifting wasn't too much better, to be honest, and his is edited, so he basically takes the best clips of him drifting and puts it into one video, making it seem as if it's done in a single run when it's basically just a montage. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just he calls himself the Drift King, and he can really only do one kind of drift, and most of the time it's power sliding. But yeah, it's basically what I got for it. It's the guy I made this for. If you've watched until this point, that's how drifting's done. So, see ya.